All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining today. Looks like we got a nice crowd so far. Hope you're all doing well. So good afternoon. I am Chris Russell with RecTech Media and want to welcome you all to the virtual job fair technology expo. Over the next 90 minutes, we'll talk to 6 different job fair software platforms, get a sense for how each of them work, have a few questions for them, and give you a chance to kind of compare and contrast what's out there overall. You know, with more and more of recruiting moving to a virtual setting these days due to the pandemic, I wanted to give employers a chance to see them up close, kind of in one event, so they can get a sense of what's out there as far as this technology goes. Let's do some shout outs. We got some people on the call here. Slev, Matt Lazar, Rex Lawrence, Beth, Andrew. How's it going? Hey, Kirby. I think that's Kirby Cole from iCare. Debbie McGrath is here. Hey, Debbie from HR.com. Appreciate it. Ian, Chris, Keith Ringer, one of our vendors, is here. I see already. David, Daniela. Excellent. All right. So people are joining as we go. Hello, Devon. Let's see here. So this broadcast will be available for replay. Just visit the same link after the show's over, and it should populate there within a few minutes. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which I'll publish the entire video onto there as well, probably by the end of the day. We'll also email attendees once the recording is ready and push you out to both those channels so you can watch it again. For those of you tuning in for the first time, RecTech Media is a company I founded back in 2015 after a few years in corporate talent acquisition. Our job is to inform the modern recruiter. We do that through podcasts, articles, ebooks, newsletters, virtual events like this, all to help you kind of uncover the technologies out there that helps you recruit and how to use it and everything in between there. So go to rectechmedia.com for everything we do. You can see all of our brands on there, all of our news sites and content and ebooks as well. Today's agenda will feature Q&A and short demos from the following companies. So we'll do Brazen, we'll do eCareerFairs, then we'll bring on PremierVirtual, Recruitology, RecruitVirtual, and last but not least, Xor. And Daniela will do that one. Let's see here. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat as we go along. I'll kind of be I'll be that go-to in between you and the vendor. Does anybody have any just kind of initial thoughts and questions before we get started? Feel free to throw them.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, David. Thanks for the quick change here.
Yeah, how are you? Just let me get my headset. Sorry about that.
No, not a problem.
Good to go. How are you today?
Excellent. Tell everyone where you're dialing in from and give us a quick history of eCareerFairs, if you could.
Absolutely. First of all, thanks for putting this together, Chris, and having eCareerFairs attend, and appreciate everyone's time jumping in today to look at probably a lot of great technology. So I'm David Hirsch, Director of Business Development with the eCareerFairs. We've been working in the virtual career fair space for probably close to 6 years now. Understanding that as of lately, it's become a necessary part of the recruitment efforts, no doubt, and it is taking off. And I'm sure everyone is tired of doing virtual things. But again, thanks for taking the time to look at it. I'd be happy to show, I think, what do we have, like 12 minutes, Chris? To get a bunch of technology in a short period of time. So happy to focus on what we offer for what I'll call the company side. I recruit recruiters, hiring managers, representatives, but we'll look at the company side and spend the time looking at that first. And we end up we can talk about how to get in touch and do everything more detailed if you care to do that.
Excellent. So. And before you start, David, give me a quick tip on having a successful virtual job fair.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to look at. So one of the things that I always recommend for our clients is to take a step back when you're putting the event together, okay? Take a step back, put yourself in the candidate's shoes. What is it that you're trying to accomplish from their perspective? You can look at it a number of ways. Why I say that, setting up the event, what's the quickest, most efficient way for individuals to get in touch with the proper people, to eliminate the general back and forth. No, I need to talk to so and so, or and if it's I always say if it's a regional event, break it out in regions. So someone needs to be in a particular part of the country, they're not going to look at the other parts. So take a step back, look at it from the candidate's perspective. That might make it a little easier in terms of flow and function for both the candidates and the representatives from the company side when they're participating in the event on the day of the event.
Excellent. All right, let's see this thing. Go ahead and share your screen and we'll get rolling.
All right, let me see if I remember how to do this. Let's do the share screen.
Everyone's commenting on my jacket. I haven't worn it in such a long time. I decided to break it out today. So happy we're wearing something other than my hoodie every day.
All right, so everyone can see this screen okay? Is that good?
Yes.
All right, just get rid of that. All right, great. As I said, we'll spend time looking at the company side. What we're looking at now is what each of the representatives would have access to during the event. This is the booth. When you look at a representative's booth, then there are certain areas that they have in their booth the day of the event. On the right side is what we call the conversation queue. Each representative has their own conversation queue. That's where candidates who come into their particular booth request a private chat with any or all of the candidates. So each of the candidates has their own queue to let them know what candidates would like to have a private chat with them. Basically, it's a notification of individuals that want to talk. The left side, general questions. There's a public forum for each of the booths. Each booth has the ability for candidates to ask particular questions, and any of the representatives that are participating in that event in that booth can respond to those questions. You can see on the left side also some event stats and some team stats, which we'll get to in a minute. One of the most important things that you also have access to is what we call the registered attendees. This is a list of individuals that have registered to participate in this event. Every representative has the ability to go into the registered attendee list. When they do that, they'll be able to look at all the individuals that have registered to the event. Now, this is prior to the event, during, and after. You have the ability to search those resumes and refine that list of individuals that they would like to talk to. You also have the ability to refine the list by people that are actually active in the event to only deal with the individuals that are currently there and participating. As I said, you can refine that list and narrow down the amount of people that you want to talk to during the event. The other key thing that you can do from the registered attendee list, if you click on someone's name to be able to look at their particular information, that resume that they provided as part of the registration process is also visible. Mm-hmm. You can save information.
Is it parsed at all, or is it just PDF?
So actually, it's an interesting question. They uploaded your doc, docx, PDF. We actually parse that so that everything in that resume is keyword searchable.
Very good.
Okay, that's how they can refine that information to be able to find candidates that might fit the particular goal for their recruitment efforts. As they're looking at the information, you can see a full view of that resume. You can save someone's information. So you always have access to what's called the Save Candidates area to come back to after the event. And one of the features that we've always had is the ability to invite people to a conversation. Now, remember, this is prior to the event. These are individuals that have registered. If you hit invite for a particular individual that you'd like to talk to, they'll receive an email notification with all of your contact information that says you would like to have a private chat with them when the event starts. So when those candidates log into the event, they'll see a list of their invites. When they accept those invites, they will also end up in the private chat queue here. Okay. So when I talk about people ending up in the conversation queue, this is what the booth would look like to a candidate. So when they come into the booth, they'll be able to see the representatives that are available to them. Each representative has a customized welcome message. This is another way for you to tailor it so that individuals know that they can speak with the right recruiter. They can always see what recruiter is available, how many people are in their queue, how much time potentially before they have a conversation with the representative. And then they can enter their conversation queue of any of the representatives by clicking that enter conversation queue link that you see here. So that's two ways people can end up in the private chat queue of a representative. Now, during the event, you can also use the invite feature. I'm going to scroll down through the general questions area. And if I see a candidate here, I can click on the information here as well to view their full resume. I can invite them during the event as well. So if I use this invite feature during the event, they automatically receive an on-screen display. So they will know immediately they've been invited. They can accept it as well. And when they accept that, again, they'll end up in the conversation queue or the chat queue of the representative. Now, there's a distinct difference between someone who just requests a chat and someone who you invited. And you can see all the individuals that accepted your invitation by this little envelope icon next to their name. That means that you initiated that outreach and they accepted it. So you can go ahead anywhere in this queue. If there are 20, 50 people, you can select anyone out of this queue to start a private chat with them. There's no specific order in which you have to take those chats, okay? The system will allow you to have up to 4 conversations at once. It's your choice, 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's up to you in order to do as many as you'd like simultaneously. And in order to start a chat, basically check the box next to their name and hit start conversation. Now that takes you to the private chat page. Now this private chat page, you can see here that all the information of the candidate, this is the person you're talking to. This is the information they provided as part of the registration process. If there's any customized information, that would all be below the resume. You can see there's a fixed time for each of the private chats. We default them to 10 minutes. Those can be defaulted to anything you choose, longer, shorter. And I'll talk about the time remaining in a minute. And to start the conversation, either side can just start typing in the box down at the bottom right and hit enter or send. And you'll be able to see that candidate is going to respond back, which continues that text thread for, again, that fixed period of time. At the top left, you can see there's multiple tabs. You can switch back and forth. These are the simultaneous conversations that you have going on. And if you're in a conversation with somebody else and another candidate responds, no, because that tab for that individual will start blinking blue like you see here. Just click on that to go back to the active chat. Okay. We default the conversations to 10 minutes. As I said, those can be increased or decreased. One of the key things you'll be able to do is to extend that by every time, as many times as you like. If it hits 5 minutes, you'll see a plus sign. You can extend that, but I'll get back to that in a second. Here's a start video chat, because when you're in a private text chat with someone, you have, as the representative, the ability to engage in a video conversation simply by hitting start video chat. You get a warning, and then you hit a video window like this. It's a simple transition from text to video. It's all browser-based. There's no downloads, no third-party apps. It's mobile-friendly. So phone, tablet, browser, it's all the same experience across the board. And when you start your video, it becomes a split screen. My information here, the candidate's information on the top, full video conversation back and forth through the browser. It's still tied to the timing of the chat. So if you get to a certain point where you want to increase this conversation time-wise, hit the plus sign and you can choose. Do you want to bump it up by 5, 10, or 15 minutes? Your choice. I'll just bump it up by 5. And now you see that it went up by 5 minutes. The candidate also sees that they see it bumped up by 5 minutes as well.
Debbie's asking, any issues with video and firewalls during some of these events?
A very good question, Debbie. We do find that video is challenging because sometimes, and this is one of the things we ask people to do to test their video prior to the event, we give them the capability to test that video to make sure it'll work on their network, okay? We do find VPNs are a challenge sometimes. VPNs sometimes knock out some of those things, and really there's nothing we can do to prevent that. But for the most part, if you spend time prior to the event testing the video, which we give everyone the capability to do, and you see that it works, you should be good to go for that event. Okay.
Another question came in. Is the virtual chat SMS text to the candidate's phone, or is it chat through the platform?
It's chat through the platform, all platform-based. That screen size will automatically adjust for their phone, so it's all done through the chat in the platform.
Great.
All right, so video showed that. One of the things you have the capabilities of doing as well is when you're in a private chat with someone and you feel like this person might be a better fit for another representative that's in the booth with you, you can see here there's a link that says forward to team member. If I hit forward to team member, it'll give me a list of all the individuals or representatives that are in the event with me. I can select a particular representative. I can type them a note that I want them to read. And when I hit forward, it drops that candidate into their chat queue. They will know that it came from you, and they'll see a little icon that basically they can click on to read the note that you sent them. So you can move people around if they're not talking to the right person, better fit for somebody else. That's a way to get someone into someone else's queue. When the conversation ends, you can use the End Now button. Candidate can end it as well. Even if there's time left, that's okay. You end that chat, you get a warning. And then what you can do is each conversation, now you have the ability to wrap up those chats. You don't have to use this information. By default, this stars are blank. There's no notes. You can just finish the conversation and move on. Or you can use the star rating. You can take notes, whatever those notes might be. They're for your reference only. No one else can see those, only for your reference for after the event. And then you can go ahead and hit this finish conversation button. Two things will happen. The active chat will disappear. And then that creates a history of those conversations. Gotcha. So you can get to the history of those private chats anytime you finish them, up to 3 months after the event.
Right. You got about 2 minutes left, David.
2 minutes. Wow. Quick time. A couple of the cool features I'll just touch on very quickly. You can always see what's happening with your team members. You hit members online. You can always see what's going on. If there's anybody in their queue, if there's anybody they're chatting with. We also have the stats for the booth. So each representative can look and see what we call booth stats. Basically gives them, the booth visitors, who's come in and out of the booth for the event. They can see if they've chatted with someone in the event. Are they waiting to chat with somebody? Should I invite them? And then the booth statistics overall that happens throughout the event timing, traffic, if you will, for your booth. Two other things I'll mention. You also have access to what we call a host account. Who's running the event, to get full event statistics and download of information automatically for any event attendees. Nice list of stats. We can get into that if someone wants to take a look at that. Talk to us about what your needs are, and happy to go into any more detail and full detail. We typically spend about 45 minutes running through the platform, so 12 minutes. I crammed in as much as I could, but thanks, Chris. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We put your link there in the chat for people who want to go and schedule a deeper dive with you. Dave, what's the biggest event you've ever held? Number of people? Curious.
Yeah, that's a great question. So one of the largest events was a fun event. It was an all-day event. It was about 185 booths. And there were about 9,000 registered attendees, of which 75 to 76% of those individuals showed up throughout the day.
Interesting. It was a full day event?
It was a full day event. Yeah, you're not going to cram that many people into a 3 or 4 hour event. I think it was about 9 hours. But so that was one of the largest. That was interesting. That was fun to watch as well.
What's the average length for like a typical single employer virtual affair, would you say?
So what we see is anywhere between 2 to 4 hours. And that also, we try and help people adjust that based on their anticipated registrants list, if you will. I've seen, let's say, a 25 booth event with close to 1,000 people get done in 4 hours. That was tough. Typically, if you're looking at maybe a smaller 3 booth event for a direct hire as a company wants to run it, you're probably going to be 2 to 3 hours with anywhere between 50 to 200 candidates.
Awesome. Well, again, David Hirsch from eCareerFairs.com. Thank you very much today, and have yourself a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate everyone's time. Take care.
Okay, we'll close out Dave. We'll bring on Colin from Brazen. I think he's here. Let's see. All right, here he is. Brazen.com. Most of you probably heard of them.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
There he is. How's it going, Colin?
Good. Going well. Thank you. Sorry for a little delayed here. Issues with the link.
That's all right. Glad we got you here. All right. So, Colin, just give them a quick introduction on Brazen, and we'll go into your demo from there.
Absolutely. So Brazen, virtual career fair platform, been doing this for about 11 and a half years now. Growing company, almost, at this point, we'll be at 100 plus employees, just solely focused on virtual events. This is all we really do. There's no other subset of our company or anything like that. So we specialize in this area, and we have about 400 to 50, by the end of the year, 500 plus customers on an annual subscription rate, with a high renewal retention. So anyone who typically comes to us stays with us for plenty of years to come. So we feel like we're the experts in this space for sure.
Yep. And a quick tip for the audience out there: how to make a successful virtual career fair.
I would say, reporting and doing I'll talk about it. I'll hit on here in my demo, making sure that you're active in the reporting, seeing who's registering, what the quality's like, and preparing for your event, because you'll be able to see on our reporting, based on their registration, how they answered. And so you can see what booths, what recruiters are going to be slammed, and then you can adjust accordingly depending on how your registrants are coming in.
Well, share your screen. Let's get going.
All right. Cool. So let me go ahead here. Okay. So I'm going to flip around here. I have a couple screenshots. Cool. So with the Brazen platform, we offer unlimited events, all you can eat for the duration of your contract. So you get very creative with the types of events that you host, and it's really easy to do. So typically within 24 hours of a contract in place, you get access to our platform and you'll get a Brazen team assigned. And then you're off to the races. It's super easy to use, and we've done that over that 11 and a half year span, is create this thing to make it user friendly, where anyone who hasn't touched a computer can really use this thing and hit the ground running. So you can create your events, and you get to save them as templates and pull them out whenever you want to reuse them. So you can make an event with a matter of 3 clicks. And when you create your event, our system has a dashboard with all the different links that you'll market your event. LinkedIn, Facebook, any paid advertisement. And so we track that data. When a candidate clicks on that advertisement, they're brought here, and we'll now be able to tell you how your channels are performing and keep fine-tuning those events as you go. So a candidate hits this page. It's called the landing page. You get to customize it, make it your own. We have some SSO options. We're trying to convert this candidate as fast as possible, which brings me to another point, that everything you're about to see is mobile friendly. We don't use Zoom, we don't use Skype, WebEx, GoTo. Everything's built into this platform. No downloads, no apps. And we made sure everything looks great on your phone. So a candidate hits here, they sign up. The moment they sign up, name and email, you get that data automatically. You can log in, download that right from the get-go. After they do that, they're then going to be brought to a registration form. Not a third-party form, all within Brazen, and you're in full control over this form. You get to ask whatever you want to ask, make fields required, ask subset questions depending on their answer, and they can upload their resume and put in their phone number. The moment they do that, you hit download, you could see that candidate info as well. So this candidate would have been allowed to add it to their calendar. We sync up with all the calendars, and then Brazen starts a text campaign and an email campaign on your behalf. And then we have 24/7 live support, and the candidate will get all of their contact information in every email we send out. Day of the event, they log in, and now I'm going to flip over to the recruiter side. So the recruiter will come in. You can do whatever you want within the platform. Each event can look completely different, color scheme, whatever you want. And so you can put in multiple videos if you want, surveys, up to you what you put in the sidebar. This will follow the candidates around the event. You can have as many booths as you want. For enterprise customers, typically we have, no one has more than 100. You'll want to keep it between 5 and 10 so you don't overwhelm the candidates. But we do have larger career fairs as well. These booths are going to be designed kind of to fit your event need. If your recruiters can only talk about certain locations, well, if you're having a big career fair, you might just break up booths by location, staff them with the right recruiters. And the booths here, why they're stacked up like this, is because they stack up on top of each other. If you're on your phone, we want to make it look pretty. Candidates, if you're on your phone and you're looking down at something that's not visually, pleasing, and you're waiting 5 minutes, your drop-off rate's going to increase. So we're trying to keep them busy while they're waiting to chat.
Yep. Got a question, Colin. Is the text / email campaign just to those who have registered, or can you upload a list?
It's just those that registered. They put in their phone number. They accept the terms that they're agreeing to text reminders. So it's just those folks.
Very good.
Yep. Cool. So I'm the recruiter. I come in. We make it easy for the recruiter too. Not everyone's tech savvy. We're trying to show them where their booths are. They can be in as many booths as they want. Before I do that, recruiters can also search registrants at any point leading up to the event. During the live event, it's up to them. And they could search them based off of the registration. So it's super easy for them to do. And when they do that, it's then going to filter their search. They can then review registration, resumes if they uploaded one, and they could personally invite this candidate to their booth to chat. I know we're tight on time here. Going into my booth, ignore this booth for a moment. Each booth can be different, and we're trying to make it branded. Everything's about that candidate experience, informing them about the company, why they should apply, why they should work there. So here I enabled 3 tabs, a home, a benefits, and I also enabled an about us tab. So it's really up to you what those tabs say. Typically, we see people have an opportunities tab and hyperlink out right to the job recs. The recruiters will be listed here, and we have a live analytic dashboard showing the candidates where they stand in line if they want to chat in this booth. Candidates will hit chat. They're then going to be placed in line to connect with the next available recruiter. So the candidates are on the other end waiting to chat, and then the recruiter's automatically connected. So here I'm connected to Mimi. I see Mimi's a registered nurse. All of Mimi's registration info, smart queue information's in there as well. We do have a cool smart queue feature that you can ask the candidates if they want to chat in your booth. And it's pretty much saying, hey, which opportunity are you interested in? And then you can ask them up to 7 questions, and the system starts grading the candidate, and it puts the most qualified ones in front of the line to connect with you first. You'll see here chats are timed for the demo. I have it set for 5 minutes. Most are 10-minute chat times. You get to extend that, and we limit that. So we made sure you can only extend once because we don't want candidates experiencing a 45, 50-minute wait time. So you get the safety net to extend it once if you need to. And the candidate does not know you have that ability.
Yep.
We allow you to, store your questions and answers. You're going to get very quick. You're going to get very quick with going back and forth with this candidate. And we also have little features like setting up a greeting. It's the little stuff that can get a little repetitive, like saying, hey, what brings you in today? You could also have multiple chats at once. And then real quick, I want to show you all our video and audio feature that's been getting attention. Okay. So this is not Zoom or anything. And the easiest analogy I can think of is FaceTime. So if I want to hop on video with this candidate, I can. I'll simply hit video. It's then going to send a message to the candidate. Hey, Colin wants to jump on camera. Do you accept or do you decline? If they accept, the camera is going to enable right from here. You can still see all of their credentials and the chat from the platform.
Very cool.
Awesome.
We do have another question from the audience. ATS integrations, which ones do you currently integrate with? Yeah,
iSIMS, telemetry, Smashfly, and we have more coming on down the pipe here. Just had a call about that this morning, so more to come.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, you got about 2 more minutes.
All right, so I'm going to fly here. Your team can end the chat at any point. When you end the chat, you're brought to a rating screen, so you get to put the candidate in a bucket based on the quality. Any notes about the candidate, you can prevent candidates from chatting in your booth again. You also have 6 months from this event date to go back in here. You can email candidates, forward them off to a colleague, and schedule follow-ups all from within our platform. So nothing manual copy and pasting emails outside of this event. One last thing I want to show you is we do offer live webinars as well. So if you wanted to host a webinar while this event's going on, ideally if your booths had 15-minute wait times, right? You want to grab maybe someone who has a cool success story to present to the audience. You can do that. So here I have one webinar booth here from our chief nursing officer. I'm going in as if I'm presenting, so I have a different view. Candidates would have a nice picture, and information about the stream. You could have up to 4 people streaming in this booth at once. and all of your viewers would be listed here. And so this allows you to do a webinar, more info-based session. Hey, here's our benefits. Here's why you should apply. And you can enable a discussion feed for live questions from the audience. So to recap all of that, at the end of the event, you'll be able to download reports. Who chatted in what booth with what representative, what they were rated, the notes, and you could really find out who you're going after that event. And you could also download that CSV and import into your ATS or CRM.
Give me an example of a couple of your last events. What kind of companies were they? How big were they? Can you give us a sense of that?
Yeah, there's just a lot of events going on, a lot of examples I can throw out. But BP, oil and gas, Schlumberger, IBM, a lot of experience. You know, we had the hot season of university recruiting, which kind of died off. Now It's more into the experienced hires, but we know spring's coming up, internship season, so I expect that to change pretty quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions from the audience for Colin and Brazen? Anything else you want to add, Colin?
No, that's it. Yeah. Any questions at all? Feel free. I'll put my email in here. You can reach out to me directly.
We do have one
questions in here. I could follow up with you directly, get those answered for you.
Here's one more for you. Can job seekers search/filter employer booths by job locations or by opportunities?
Yeah, they can search by keyword on booth title, and they could also do a filter. You could tag your booths with whatever topics, even discussions, whatever you want. You could tag your booths, and then candidates can search based off your tags. So really narrow in on their search.
Awesome. Looks like your colleague Sarah's here, so her email's in the chat there. You can also email her, I guess, to set up demos. But Colin, feel free to throw your email in the chat there if you want to push that out there.
Wonderful.
Appreciate your time today from Brazen, and thanks for joining us here.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Take care.
Right. Take care. All right. Next, we're going to bring on Steven from PremierVirtual. Let me dial him up here. Find him in the list. There he is. PremierVirtual.com. Just invited him.
Hello, Chris.
Hey, Steven, how are you?
Doing well, and you?
Not too bad. All right. Don't have your video there, Steven. You want to pop on it, or?
It's not.
Can hear your voice.
Yeah, it's interesting. Before it wasn't showing your audio, but yet it was all accepted yesterday.
All right. Well, we can do it out, I guess. Let's try the share screen. Let's start there.
I'm not getting a link from you like yesterday.
So do you see your icon there? The little green icon?
Yep.
That's your avatar. So Steven, if you mouse over that, you'll see the icons. And then one of those is the share screen icon. Oh, we lost Steven. He's waiting to reconnect. There he is. You're welcome, Slev. Glad you appreciate the content. Yeah, I want to do a kind of a rapid fire thing here. Steven, we can't hear you. We see your screen though. How about now, Steven? Can you hear us? Yeah, close your video down. I'm going to re-invite you on screen. Let's try this again. Sorry about that, folks. We did do a test yesterday with everybody, and it worked perfect. But of course, technology always changes things sometimes. All right. There he is again. Okay, invite you on again. Should get a little pop-up. Okay, there he is.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
All right. Perfect.
Excellent. All right. Go ahead and share your screen, Stephen.
Okay, there we go.
PremierVirtual.
All right.
Chat
Can everybody see me?
Yes, can see you.
All right, perfect. So a little about myself and PremierVirtual. My name is Steve Edwards, CEO of PremierVirtual. When I got out of the Army, moved down to Florida for college. After I got out of college, I got into the job fair industry. So I put on in-person job fair for almost 9 years. 2 years ago, I saw a big change in the market. Candidates stopped coming to in-person events. Started thinking about virtual. Couldn't find exactly what I was looking for out there. So we developed PremierVirtual. We developed it from a recruiter standpoint to be able to connect candidates directly with the companies that are in there. So what I'm going to show you today is kind of just a quick demo of how these two connect together. So any questions, let me know. First, this is a customized registration page. So you can put graphics in here. You can put videos, training videos. We just had the governor of Florida put a welcome video to their Paychecks for Patriots event that was there for a statewide veterans hiring event. You can put any kind of messages that are hyperlinked in there, your logos in there, people that use this for trade shows, put sponsorship videos in there and talk about their sponsors. Kind of tells you when a company is registering, they're going to choose where they want to put their jobs and where they want to have their companies. You know, I've heard a couple people talking about locations and industries and where they want to put their booths and their companies. You want to be able to make sure that you make it as efficient for candidates as possible. A big tip on anything with any kind of job fair that's out there, there's a lot of great platforms that were on here today that's here. And they'll all probably tell you this, but the two most important things to me in any virtual event on any platform that's out there is your marketing and your reminders. You're not going to be able to have a successful event if you're not setting up the event properly and marketing it out to both your candidates as well as your companies. The trainings, we have webinars that we do trainings for the individual companies as well that are on there so they understand that. We also do Instagram lives or webinars for your candidates so that they understand how the best practice for the day of the event is going to be. A lot of organizations started asking us to do the best practice 30 minutes before the job fair starts. So when that candidate logs in, they see a webinar from us and it talks about how to work the event on that day, because we do this on a daily basis. Candidates and companies don't do this virtual on a daily basis, and some of them are not tech savvy. Some of them may not understand that. So when we built this, I said it needs to be as user-friendly. It doesn't matter if you're 20 or 60 years old. If you don't have a lot of tech skills, guess what? We made it easy so that you can do it. When the companies register for the event, they're going to fill out their information, choose which categories that they want to be in, and then they can log in. Every time they come in, they don't have to create a new booth for every event. Once their profile is in our system, they can then register for the other events that they're going to be in as well. Quick thing of the dashboard, all of our training videos and best practices are all right in here for the companies. Profile, when they come in and they edit their profile, very basic information for their organization, down to their organization overview. And all of this is information that when those candidates come in, they see it, they can look at it, and then be able to speak directly with the recruiters. Custom links, these are just booths, links that websites, anything like that they want to put on there. And then they can link all of their social media directly to their booth. From there, they can see what their booth looks like from a candidate standpoint of view. So again, here, and I'm going to get into this here in a little bit more on the candidate side, but you can see exactly what they're looking for there. After they do that, they want to set up their recruiters. So they can have unlimited number of recruiters that are going to be in the booth. You know, we've had companies that had 15, 17 different recruiters that are in there so that people don't have to wait in long queues to be able to talk. When a candidate is going to a job fair, especially on the college side of it, I mean, we had one of the colleges that had over 70,000 booth views during their job fair. You can't wait in long queues to be able to get to that. They want to get in, answer the questions. So you can have your unlimited recruiters that are in here, and then they can also create predefined messages that are going to be in here that they can send to the candidates as soon as they visit their room, so they can introduce themselves, ask them if they wanted to get into a video chat, and they can put anything. So if you think back to an in-person job fair, a candidate comes into the room, they see the companies there, they have to wait in line to get to the front of that line to say, here's my resume. Can you tell me about what your company does, or a little bit about your jobs that you're hiring for? The recruiters tell them, and if they say, hey, I want more information, then they start talking. They say, it's not a good fit. Well, they just wasted time waiting in line, where now we built it so that they can get all that information before they even get into that chat. So it makes it efficient for both the candidates as well as the companies. After they set up their recruiters, they want to set up their jobs. Here's where they're adding and editing their jobs. So now they can post all their jobs, so the company or the candidates can know what jobs are out there, so that they can then submit their resume. So these companies know that that candidate is interested in there. They can target where they want to have the job. So let's say they have 10 different industries that they're hiring in, and they only want to show the accounting jobs in the accounting, sales and sales, and engineering. They can do that. So the candidates can log in, click on that industry, see the companies that are hiring in that industry, click on the job vacancies and say, these are the ones I'm interested in, and then start chatting with the companies.
Quick question for you, Steve.
Yes.
Is build and design self-service?
Yes. So this is all, we make it very efficient for the host of the events to be able to create the information on the registration page. Very easy, plug and play, just putting in some links in the graphic that's going to be in there. And then each one of the companies, when they're doing it, they're just putting links in to be able to build. They don't have to build out their booths or anything like that. It's going in there and they're just plugging and playing.
Excellent.
All right. Then the day of the event comes. They're going to come in here. They're entering their booth. What they're going to see is this event is not live right now, but if it was live, you would see the visitors that are coming in here. It's highlighted. They come into the room. So you know the instant somebody comes into the room. Once they come into your room, you can view their resume as well. So just like this, where on the left-hand side, this is their submitted resumes. Anytime somebody submits a resume, you can now click on that resume to see, is this a good fit? It's the same thing on the visitor side. As soon as somebody comes in, they can click on and say, is this a good fit? Let me send them a message here. And then all of the messages, these are going to be all of the messages that are going on right here of conversations that you're having. And here is where you can have your predefined messages. Okay. So Jamie came in, Jamie sent me a message. I can now send a message directly back to him without having to type it because I set up all my predefined messages. We also then have our video chat. So once we hit the video chat, it then sends them a link. So it would send them a link and then the video would pop up directly like that as well. So once Jamie would click on it, you would then see him right through the system. Again, it's not an outside thing. You saw when Jamie was typing in there. So that's it from the day of the event. You can have, again, as many recruiters are going to be there. All of your candidates are going to be here. No, there's no waiting in line. So also on the chat with the candidates, the chat follows the candidates. So no matter where they're at within the event, that chat is following them. So if company A is busy and they send them a message and the candidate doesn't get right back, and then the company sends a message, even if they're not in their booth, they're going to be able to get that chat so that they know that that recruiter is interested in. And then at the end of the event, which for the organizations, which is the most important thing, is the data. They want to know how many people submitted their resumes to the event. They want to know who visited their hiring room. They can download their resume. They can leave notes directly about the candidate. And they can even view all of the logs of the candidate behavior that you're going to be able to see. So you know, what did that candidate do while they were in your hiring room? Then you can export all of this data directly to your system that exports it to a CSV file so that you can upload it into any one of your ATS systems you have, as well as hard copies of all of the resumes. So that's it on the company side. Does anybody have any questions before I get to the candidate side?
Nothing yet other than that first one, but go ahead.
Okay. So candidate side, again, this is very customizable on how you want to put your event that's out there, your registration page. So if you see like this organization, CareerSource, which is a workforce development board here in Florida, is they put all of their sponsors on there. So it's very customizable to get the people's names out there and all of the information. They didn't use anything on the right side. They only use their information page. So let me log in here, show you what it looks like from the candidate standpoint of view. They're going to have their profile that's going to be in here where they're editing their profile. They're then going to be able to go to the lobbies of these events. So when we talk about driving a candidate to the right place, when a candidate comes in and they see a list of 100 different companies, they're not going to know which companies are hiring for which type of jobs or which type of locations. They're just going to see a big list of companies. And we all know candidates they'll look at the first 5, 6, 7 companies. They don't see what they're looking for. They're going to log off. So by creating your industries, it really makes it efficient. And this was just one client that did it this way. They had webinars through the platform as well throughout the day. And you can see when they come in, again, they're going to be able to click on an industry. From here, they're able to see all of the companies that are in here. Once they click on a company, this is where they can see the organization bio. See, am I even interested in what this company does? Yes. Okay. Let's look at the job vacancies. From here, I view the job vacancies. Oh, I like what this company has to say. Let me submit my resume. Now that organization knows that I'm interested in ABC position. And what does the company want to do after they saw what the company did? They saw the job vacancies, they submitted. They want to research their companies. These are what the custom links are for. So now they can click directly on the link and see exactly what that company does. From there, they can click on their social media. And then the next thing is they can click on their chat. Now, a candidate can start a chat or a company can start a chat. So again, it makes it very efficient. So if a candidate wants to come in and say, I looked at your engineering position, what are the next steps? So now they've done that research. They said that recruiter understands, they saw their resume, and they can have a real one-on-one chat directly with that candidate.
Okay. Steve, when you get a new client, how do you do sort of the onboarding and training of the platform with them? Can you explain that?
Yeah, great question. So we have a team here. Once they have it, if one of my team member has it, we have an account manager that is going to be their first line of contact. So they're going to have their team, their account manager, as well as our implementation team. They're going to set up the virtual environment for them. Once they have their virtual environment, they're able to go in and start creating all of their events. Again, we do individual events. We do annual agreements where they can run unlimited events on the platform. So there's multiple different things that they can do within the platform. If they want to do a trade show or a career fair, they can do that. But they're always going to have one-on-one contact from my support team. My team is all based here in the U.S. So you have live support during every single event. You have live support before the events. You have live training. You have emails, phone numbers to be able to reach anybody here on our team to get you onboarded all the way through the end of the events. And then after the event is over as well, in our admin portal that we have, that each client has their admin portal, you're going to be able to pull all of the reports for the event. So you're going to know all of the job seekers, what they did while they're in the event, which booths that they visited, how many booths they visited. You'll know the resumes. Then you'll know by company, how many chat messages, how many booth visits they had, and then how many resumes were submitted. So you as a host of an event, you're going to have all of the data that you need to be able to say, was this a successful event? And what happened during that event? Because the reporting and the data is the biggest key that we have. Some of the, events last week with the Paychecks for Patriots, you're able to know how many people registered for the event, how many people logged in, how many people visited each booth, so that you can go in and how many people submitted resumes. So now, not do you just at the end of an event, when I was putting on in-person job fairs, you'd have to walk up to the company and say, so how did you do at the event? How many interviews did you schedule? How many resumes did you get? And I says, I don't know. Well, now we have all of that data. The only data we don't give is who got hired out of that event, just because nobody really knows that the day of the event, because sometimes it goes on just a bit longer. but they're going to be able to take all of that data and go, hey, ABC Mortgage, here are the 27 people that applied to positions on your site. Please let us know who you hired on that. So now you can look at your return on investment after that event is over.
Awesome. Well, Steve from PremierVirtual, thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate the info. Great product. And we'll put your link in the chat there.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
All right. Take care. All right. Excellent. So we are halfway through. Next up will be Recruitology. Let me bring on Kat and Jonathan from that company. There's Kat. Let's find Jonathan. And okay.
Hi.
Hey, Kat, how's it going?
I'm well. How are you?
All right, I'm well.
Go ahead and share my screen here.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Can you guys see?
Yes, we can. Give us a quick intro, and then we can move on.
Awesome. So Recruitology is a cloud-based recruiting platform, and we leverage artificial intelligence to help employers really hire the right talent quickly and efficiently. We offer programmatic job distribution. We do distribution to niche job sites, candidate ranking and matching, and then we also applied our AI to the functionality of our virtual career fair platform that we just launched in mid-2020. Our mobile-friendly platform, it's really easy to set up. It's intuitive for both job seekers and employers. And I think most importantly, it's intelligent in that our candidate matching technology provides value by working to speed up that screening process. So I wanted to kind of start the demo real quickly today on our job seeker registration process. This is an example of one of our registration pages, and you can see it's customizable. It's a page layout that you can choose one of our video or our library of background images, or you have the ability to use your own custom image. We provide different sponsorship levels for employers, and that's going to provide them with prominent positioning throughout the event. You'll see that the sponsorship page highlights the event details. It gives a brief description or a mention of why a job seeker would want to attend the event. It shows the chat session times, as well as highlighting each of the participating sponsors right here on the registration page. We also here at the bottom allow for a job seeker to share this event with someone else should they choose to do so. And that's pretty much the overview of the registration page. Ours is a double opt-in registration process, and what we want to keep it super simple to avoid candidate drop-off. So as you'll see here, all we ask for a job seeker is their first, last name and email address, and then they have to agree to the terms of use. The resume upload is optional by default, but you can require it if you want people to upload their resume upon registration. And while it's optional, we really encourage candidates to do that, because I'm going to talk a little bit about how our candidate recommendation technology takes advantage of the details in their resume. We'll talk through that multiple times throughout this demo. And once a candidate clicks register now here, they're then immediately receive an email asking them to confirm their registration. And then once they click confirm, they're going to get a second email with their individual link to access the event. And someone talked about earlier how it's important to have reminders. We do send out automated reminder emails leading up to the event to really encourage those registrants to participate. So moving on to the actual event experience from the job seeker perspective, when a candidate enters our lobby, you're going to see that the employer positioning is based on the sponsorship level. So the sponsors are going to be displayed above the event exhibitors in the lobby. Also, geo-targeting is applied with the user's location selected by default, and then the employer booths are then going to be displayed nearest to furthest based on that job seeker location. We also provide the ability for those job seekers to search by multiple different criteria, such as occupation, whether or not a specific position is a great match for their individual background, as well as they can search by which companies are online now and ready to chat. So each employer booth then will have lobby messaging here for candidates to see like a brief sentence or two about their company. They're going to have a chat icon indicator that's going to show whether or not their recruiters are online and available to chat, as well as this briefcase icon right here that indicates the number of open positions in each employer booth. So if this Radio Shark looks good to a candidate, they're going to want to visit the booth. They just click visit booth, and then they can see all about the company. They can check out their About Us information. They can view a company video. They can check out their social media links here, their website perhaps. And then most importantly, they can peruse that company's job opportunities. And I think the thing that kind of sets our platform apart is that we have that candidate matching technology where we identify which of the employer's positions are a best match for that each candidate based on their work experience, their background and skill set that, as I mentioned, that they included in their resume. So it really gives the candidate the opportunity to quickly identify which positions might be he might be best or most interested in learning more about. So then if the candidate is interested in chatting with a recruiter at this company, they're just going to click right here on this request to chat button, and that's going to enter them in the recruiter's chat queue. As you can see here, the candidates can manage multiple conversations with multiple different employers at the same time, and their active conversation will be in this larger area here. So let me move on to the employer experience,
Okay.
and you'll see that it's very, very similar to the job seeker experience. And kind of given the limited amount of time today we have for this presentation, I'm just going to touch on each of these areas at a really high level today. Let's start right here with booth settings. Everything is right here along this left navigation. And if the employer clicks on booth settings, this is going to be where they configure their booth. They can upload logos and videos and enter, their website, their About Us information. This is also going to be the area where they're going to specify which recruiters are going to be chatting with job seekers during the event. They just plug them in right down there. And then at any time, if an employer wants to preview what their booth looks like, they just click right here on this My Booth icon, and they can see what their booth would look like to the job seekers on the event day. So I think the most important area that I want to cover today in the demo here is the chat functionality from the recruiter's perspective. And how we have it laid out is there are 3 different tabs for recruiters to manage conversations with candidates. This request tab is where I'd like to start, because this is where all of your company recruiters will see the collective list of all new job seeker chat requests for their company. So your team can kind of work to that queue together to first engage with either the most qualified candidates or the candidates that are located closest to their open positions. As you can see here, the recommendation algorithm is going to help the recruiters prioritize those conversations and kind of cherry pick the candidates that are most likely to be a good fit. And again, I want to point out that the distance that each job seeker is from the location of each of the positions is also indicated right here under their name. So as an individual recruiter from your company clicks on a candidate name, that conversation is then going to be moved right here into that specific recruiter's ongoing conversation tab and removed from this collective request tab, so that your team of recruiters can access those conversations and get them handled quickly and efficiently. So again, I'm going to show you here that our matching technology, all they have to do is hover over an individual in their chat queue, and they can really quickly see our recommendation on which candidates may be a better fit for their open positions. And that's really going to help them prioritize their time and their conversations to get the most out of the event. I want to point out here that, this is all driven by our matching technology, and we give our employers the ability to give us feedback on that so that we can continually improve the accuracy of our matching algorithms. And all they need to do is give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down based on whether or not they think that each candidate is indeed a good match or a possible match for any given position. We also allow here for the view resume during the conversation. Your recruiters can click on this view resume where they can see the candidate's resume during the conversation. or they can download it for reviewing later. And if a candidate has not yet uploaded their resume, they can do so right here in right in the active conversation. The recruiter can request for them to do so. So I think that covers the resume piece. I think the coolest part about the conversations we can pop out right here, as a couple of our other demonstrations have showed, if a recruiter would like to change this into a video or an audio call, they just click the corresponding icon there, and then it pops it right out here in our platform. There's nothing to download or anything. They can have that video chat right here with a candidate right here in the platform. And I think go ahead.
It's on mobile friendly, I assume?
Yes, definitely mobile friendly. Yeah, it's a mobile friendly platform from both job seeker and recruiter perspective. And I think the final piece here from the recruiters is this My Booth tab here is a recent rollout we just did, because we wanted to be able to highlight those passive candidates who've visited an employer booth, but or maybe currently visiting an employer booth, but haven't engaged with the recruiters at that company. This will allow the recruiters to kind of selectively initiate conversations with those passive candidates who look like they might be a good match for their open positions. So I think a couple other things I wanted to mention is, of course, the reporting is available for download. We have the detailed reporting, just like the others mentioned, registered job seekers, attendees. We have individual booth traffic can be shown, as well as employers can download their actual chat conversations. One of the other tips that I think we were going to mention to have a successful event is, you want to make sure and promote it ahead of time, because why have an event if you're not going to tell people about it? So what we've done is we have developed a comprehensive planning and marketing support that will be available to your team to ensure that events are executed seamlessly. It offers, creative assets, timing and checklists, and all kinds of things to help make sure that you're promoting the event in leading up to it, so to make sure that you have a lot of registrants attend. And then finally, the one we showed today is a multi-employer event, but we wanted to make sure and mention that we do have that single employer event with all of the same functionality. And that would be ideal for companies looking to hire across various departments and or multiple locations. So I think we stuck to our time. It's a lot to throw out there in 12 minutes, but I think that's it.
Appreciate that. Is the cost-wise, is it per event or is it kind of a monthly cost?
It's a per event cost. So if it's a single employer event, we have one cost for, there are different levels based on sponsorship. If it's a multi-employer event, it would be the same thing. The employer pays for their booth based on their sponsorship level.
Awesome. Well, Kat, Jonathan, anything else to add?
I think that's it. Thank you for letting us show you our platform. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming on, and we'll put a link in the chat there, and appreciate you guys from Recruitology. So
awesome.
Great
Thank
day,
you.
guys. All right, next up will be Keith Ringer from RecruitVirtual. Let me dial him up here. There he is. All right, Keith, just invited you. Keith is another long time guy in the space. Is a link up here. There he is. Can you hear me, Keith? Oh, can't hear you. Check your audio there. Nope. Let me close you out and then I'll invite you back on, Keith. All right, let's try this again.
What about now?
Yes, sir. All right, we're good.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Keith. Give everyone a quick intro on RecruitVirtual, and then we'll check out your software.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you know, we've been in the space for a long time. We started out actually as the first developer of programmatic job fair distribution software. So think like an Appcast or a Jovio for job fairs and recruiting events. And we learned a whole lot, obviously, about job fairs and about the programmatic space, and a whole lot about job fair marketing. And a few of the things that we learned included that job seekers are really bad at email and they're really bad at passwords. And so if you can alleviate them of the burden of email and passwords, you get way higher attendance. And so our software is probably newer than all of the other folks demoing their software today. It's really, for us, version 2 of our job fair software. And we built it with that premise that job seekers are challenged with email, and they're challenged with anything that's not mobile, and they're challenged with passwords. And so let's just eliminate that for the job seeker. So with our platform, when you register, you immediately opt into email and text messaging campaigns that are delivered via MMS. But if you never receive the email, you can still get everything that you need to get your reminders, your confirmation, your reminders, and your day of, the link to get into the event. You can come to the event and enter the mobile number with which you registered and get a one-time passcode. So it's entirely passwordless, state-of-the-art security, just like some cutting-edge systems right now that your bank might be using to let you in without a password. And yeah, so that's sort of our approach. We try to keep the user interface really slick and streamlined. We try to be super flexible on our pricing. And so our pricing is such that a customer could pay per event. They could purchase bundles and get a discount, or they could purchase on a subscription if they need it more regularly. And we just basically, when customers ask us what it costs, we say, how do you want to pay? So we always work it out. We never turn down a sale with a good customer. So did you want some tips on running a successful event?
Yeah, give us one quick tip for running a successful one, and then share your screen after that.
One quick tip. I think planning broadcast video, we have a broadcast video feature that is really compelling when it's put to use. And so we always tell our customers, plan to use that broadcast video in a smart way. One way that we see some of the best customers using it is they'll actually schedule team leaders or star players in their company to present briefly about their work life, about their thoughts on the job and the company and things like that. So you can actually schedule broadcast video just as if you had your own miniature television station all about your company.
Awesome.
All right. Let me get my screen shared here. All right, so we'll start out here. We've got two different user roles that we'll talk about today in addition to job seekers. It's the organizer and then the recruiter. The organizer is going to be sort of the primary person in charge of managing that event or setting it up, and that could be a professional job fair organizer. We work with those folks all the time. Or it could be whoever's taking the lead on an HR team at an individual employer. And so they can, in their account, they can create their events, and they can control all of the variables of that event, write their turnkey, so the name of the event, a subtitle, the description if they want that, and all sorts of formatting for that description. They can also upload images, for instance, if they wanted to tile images of the different booths or the different brands that would be in attendance for that particular event. They can add links, and they can add start date, and end date, start time and end time, and they can control the look of that event entirely. And so this is one of the ways that they customize the event landing page. As soon as an event is pressed, we give a public URL back to that organizer so that they can share that with whomever they need, or they can start promoting their event right away. When job seekers register, we require first name and last name, email address, and mobile number. But registrants could also complete a virtually limitless set of additional questions if an organizer wanted to do that. We all know the more questions, the more friction you have on signups, the more drop-off. But when we're doing events for folks, say, who require a secret clearance, it's a deal breaker if you don't have one. So they may have a hard screening question in there. And if you don't have a secret clearance and you indicate that, our registration form is going to tell you you're not qualified to come to the event. So at the event level, you can use those questions to either get more information from people for your own database, or you can actually filter people out that might be unqualified, right? So you can make those questions whatever you want, and they can be required or they can be what we call hard, which means that you have to get a certain answer to proceed. You can view your registration list, and you can drill down into that list after the event and see reconciliation. Did the people attend or not? And you can always see a how heard, so where those folks came from, right? We're tracking that using the last click methodology to help you with your marketing. All of that information can be exported, of course, manually, or it can be pulled out through our RecruitVirtual Connect API in any of a variety of languages for import to your ATS or your CRM. And you can also import registrants if you have your own list and you want to bring those people in and get them into the email and text messaging campaign leading up to the event. So you could bring in, registrants from wherever, through a marketing campaign that we run, through your own marketing campaign, or through an existing list that you have, say from a talent community. It's really easy for an organizer to add booths and to add recruiters. It's as simple as clicking the Add Booth button and adding a name for that booth. That's just a placeholder. You save that and that booth's been created. As soon as you do that, you can go back and add a recruiter. Again, as simple as just adding an email address only if need be, and that recruiter gets the invite. As your recruiters are invited, they can take over and start managing all aspects of their booth, from the presentation in the lobby to the name of their booth, to their personal presentation and how they're displayed in the booth, and all of the content that they want to create in the booth. So again, the organizer can do this or the recruiter can do this. I know for our professional organizers, a lot of times they'll say, oh, my customer can do this, or we, for an upcharge can do it for you. So we like to give organizers, professional organizers, a lot of great ways to make more revenue. We work with a lot of professional organizers, but also with direct employers as well.
Gotcha.
All right, going to switch over here to the public side. This is just I'm no sort of designer, so this is just a little demo page that I made for today, the Tesla Solar Job Fair event. And this is where a description would show up. But again, you could have, images over here, whatever else you want to do. Register. Okay, it's the basic registration. Resume too. If you don't,
you broke up there a bit. I wanted to ask you a question, which was, how effective has the mobile piece been for you guys as far as converting the candidates to come to the event, things like that? I imagine it's been pretty effective.
Yeah, things that we learned with text message, just this rate on mail is 50 to 65%. Open rate on text message is like 95%. Deliverability is, again, style. Deliverability on email really low. Yahoo and Gmail are all looking for reasons to flag mail as spam. So it's really just, in our situation, the job seekers can sign up. If they never receive the email, they get everything they need to attend the event. Let's say I registered as a job seeker and come back same browser. We recognize the encrypt cookie that you signed up with, and we let you straight into the event. Let's say I switched browsers, I cleared my cookies, or I'm on a different device now. I just come back. I've already registered. I click this button to sign in. I enter the phone number with which I registered. I request my code, and in real time, I get a 4-digit login code. So I never have to have a password. I never have to stop and look up my password. At the event start time, you get the link to join. Most of our job seekers roll right in with that. So from a conversion standpoint, it's just been huge.
Yeah, that's pretty unique. I like that.
Thank you. All right, so there's what the front of the event looks like. If the job seeker were to get into this particular event, it would look something like this when they come in. Of course, the organizer and recruiter have all of the control over, what booths are here and what content those booths present. And then, of course, when you get into a booth, what's available. I did recycle this event, so when we get in here, we'll see that I have actually some content for Allstate, I think. Were I doing the live video stream, it would be the most prominent tab in the booth right when you come in. I'm not going to do the live video stream right now because, as you know, video and video or audio and audio sometimes causes a lot of feedback. So I don't want to do that to our viewers. But that would be front and center when you come into the booth. And then you could add unlimited content, that's text-based, links, images. You can add videos. Embedded, and then so in addition to the live stream video, embedded videos for asynchronous viewing, and then we have a jobs module. We actually allow jobs to be posted in any of 3 different ways. You can use our internal job module with quick apply. That's the easiest for the job seeker, but it doesn't work for all employers because it's not necessarily going to be compliant with their OFCC reporting. And then we've got a variation of that where you use our jobs module, but the click out goes to the ATS so that the applicant actually goes to the corporate ATS for tracking purposes. And then, of course, you can just skip our jobs module completely and load up links to your jobs and go directly to the ATS, which is the most rapid way for the recruiter to set that up. So if they're worried about time, they can completely skip our jobs module and still load all their jobs up right there.
Okay. About a minute or so.
Okay, so from the recruiter's perspective, there are all sorts of things to do in here, but we'll focus on chat. When I go in, I see a job seeker waiting for me in the chat queue. When I click on them, I see a preview of all of that job seeker's information. Notice we have a really clean user interface. So I have acted as a recruiter for an entire event on my mobile phone. So, people say they're mobile first, but you can run an entire event on your phone as the recruiter here. So I can see all of this job seeker's information. I could right click and open this resume in line, but for purposes of time, I'm going to go ahead and now that I've seen the preview of this job seeker, invite them into chat. Once I'm in chat, I see a summary of their profile and my canned responses start firing. I could go ahead and initiate a video chat conversation. Right? I've got all of these great canned responses that I can use to keep me from having to type a whole lot. Right, with my job seeker. And if I had other job seekers dropping into this queue, I could click and manage between them. I would see a bubble each time one of them responded. I've managed up to about 6 job seekers at once. I think we have some recruiters that can manage 8 or 10 job seeker conversations right here. Once I'm finished with this job seeker, I can exit and leave a review. So I can set an applicant status. I could block this person if they've done something unbecoming, or if they just keep coming back and I need to spend time with other folks. I can give them a rating. I can leave a free form review. And I could share from right here with a hiring manager, which sends a summary of this, the job seeker and their resume, to whomever I'd like to share it with. Or I can just save this for discovery. All of that content that I've talked about is available here. So previewing the event, managing my chats, hosting a live broadcast, posting my jobs, creating my content pages. It's all right here. I can manage my qualifying questions. I can go back and I have discovery on all of this stuff. So when I go into any other page in my booth, I see the number of visitors in my booth, who's waiting to chat, and the number of active chats. I could click right here to be immediately transported back to chat so that I don't miss anyone. And I can go through here and search all my job seekers and discover 100% of the reviews. If a job seeker chatted with multiple recruiters during the day on the same team in the same booth, I'd be able to see all those conversations and maybe reconcile the different reviews or ratings, and I'd be able to see all of the conversations. So it's all there 100% for discovery.
Very nice, very nice. Well, I like the clean interface, Keith, and I love the chat, the text function as well. So
awesome.
Pretty cool stuff. Definitely impressed all the platforms today, but those are a couple of my favorite aspects of yours so far. So, well, appreciate you joining us, Keith, and thanks for your time today, and have a great one.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks for having us. Take care.
Awesome. All right, we got one more for you. Let's see here. There's a chat there a question in the chat there for RecruitVirtual. If you guys want to answer that real quick. Let me find Danielle from Xor and get her on the line. There she is. So Xor.ai is our final vendor today. 5606. Danielle's coming. I will grab their URL for you.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Daniela, how are you?
Good, good. Thanks for having me and for still being here.
You're last but not least. So
Exactly.
And wrap things up with a bang, right? So give us a quick overview of Xor first, and then we'll go into your demo.
That's the goal, actually, to end everything with a bang. So about Xor, we're actually a modern communications/recruiting platform that helps recruiters and hiring manager hire and retain the best talent with the use of AI. So we can pre-interview them for you, schedule them for the hiring manager or the recruiter, and answer their most popular questions. And on the tip for a successful career fair, I think the most important is that remember that the event starts at the registration point, and that is what I actually want to show you. We piggybacking on this, actually, we've pre-recording the experience of a candidate from the point that they register, and we'll go into the dashboarding and all the reporting technologies by the end of the call. So let me do a screen share and hope the technology doesn't fail us.
Yeah.
Great.
What's been the response to this year because of the pandemic? I'm assuming that you've seen just a great deal of interest in this type of technology.
Absolutely. It's been, I guess, a great year for us in terms of customers, projects, new events, new interesting use cases, I would say. I feel like this year boosts creativity, at least amongst our customers.
Awesome. So it's not ZOR, it's XOR.
It's XOR, but spelled Xor, as you just said. So that's perfect.
Okay.
Great. So yeah, as mentioned beforehand, we do believe that the event starts at the registration part. So from the registration starting, here you can see promotion on Facebook. We would include the link to a small registration chatbot that can also include a video shout out from some of your colleagues, or as in our case, from our CEO, Aida, that just greets the candidates and tells them a short intro to the company and to the event. They can look all the video, or they can just go through and register. We would initially collect some general information as their contact, so name, email, phone number. And the reason why we need that is because we also have pre-set up automatic text and email reminders a day before the event, or like few hours, to keep the engagement steady and to make sure that we don't just have a boom at the beginning of the event and then nothing for the next couple hours. And so we also can split those things up a bit. And as you can see, it's pretty easy. It's just a few steps, and we're sending an automatic calendar invite to all the job seekers or participants, so they're familiar and they don't forget. They just have it in their calendar right there, as well as a thank you for registration email, as you can see on my screen now. Once they go to the floor, that's actually how our floor will look like, and we'll go today through a couple more examples. Here it is extremely Xor, and it's focused for direct hire. We also do for organizers. So from the point of organizing the event, you can do it in two ways. You can, once the candidate clicks on your booth, you can go right ahead and interview them through a short chat, or or schedule them even for a meeting with the recruiter if they meet specific criteria. Also in the chatbot, we do have the filtering by vacancy. So if a specific company or a specific department is recruiting for one or more jobs, they can be filtered specifically based on the questions that your team will have for those candidates. So getting to know them before actually getting to know them. So those are the few questions. If they know specific skills or specific coding languages, if they're familiar with specific frameworks. And yeah, setting up the appointment directly to recruiter's calendar. We currently support Google Calendar, Office 365, and Exchange. So everyone is welcome. And we're trying to accommodate everyone. So here, as we go, a few seconds later, we would have the interview set up with the candidate's name, their information, their score that they've accumulated with our AI chatbot, also the opportunity for them to reschedule, and their resume if it is attached by them. The other way to go about the event is to have a landing page with multiple jobs or a little bit more information about the company. So we can also include their different videos, imagery, maps based on the location where the company is based, and additional info just as our organizers or job seekers want. And also after that, we can start the chat as a candidate. So we would go through the same motion of submitting our contact information, getting to tell a bit more about ourselves, and basically waiting for the recruiter. Now we'll switch on to the recruiter's view. So on the day of the event, all the recruiters or organizers will have a similar view as you see here on my screen, with the ability to audio, video call, or text the candidates. Also with multiple information about those candidates. You can review all the conversation, or you can just go ahead, see their resume, and hop on a quick call, again, video or audio, with our candidates. So as you can see here, our team, it's fairly easy. You just invite them, the candidate clicks on the link, and you're good to chat with them. Oh, we just did this because, again, video with video don't really work together.
Mhm.
So yes, and now moving back to the way our platform will look from the recruiter's perspective. If you want on the day of the event to talk, you can see the status of our candidates, if they're active. You want it through web chat, so again, no apps needed to be included. The platform is both mobile and web friendly. Nobody has to download anything, which is extremely crucial. We can look through the conversation path that our candidate had with the chatbot or text them ourselves. We can also check their resumes just by clicking this button here. So look through it, decide, do we want to talk with them more? We can see additional files. So this is also can be pre-requested, the contact information, and the vacancy they've applied. So within Xor, a company can have on their booth multiple roles, actually pretty much as many as they'd like. Okay, obviously not too many.
Yep.
And also we can add additional tags. So we're using a neat tag system to understand the candidate path and also to facilitate their reporting afterwards. Because this candidate was already scheduled for a call, we can reschedule this event directly from the same platform or reject them with a neat message. And we can start them as our favorites. On the reporting functionalities, we have a great dashboard that if your event lasts more than 1-2 days, because we also have a lot of ongoing events with our clients, you can look at the stats over a specific period of time, like how many people clicked on your booth, how many started a conversation, scored, and got qualified, and ultimately scheduled. Also, you can see the whole candidates list, which can be either simply exported through a CSV file or sent directly to your ATS. And currently we're supporting over 30 applicant tracking systems, so give us a shout out. We're probably integrating with them.
Yeah, I like those stats. Those are nice.
Yeah, thank you. I'll pass this to our designing department.
I like color.
Yeah, no, totally, absolutely.
Very, text heavy, hard to read.
Yeah, and you also can export them to either like this neat, beautiful, colorful image or to an Excel for more details. So it really depends on your choices and what you want to do with the stats afterwards.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah, we do have a question on the chat here. Talk about pricing a bit. Is it available for single employer events, multiple employer events?
Absolutely. We actually provide both. So either one employer events where you'd have various positions across multiple locations, or for big job organizers, we didn't have 150, but we had like the biggest one, around 50 different companies attended the live event during a day, like 6 hours, simply.
6 hours. Gotcha. Excellent. Anything else you want to add, Danielle?
No, please shoot me any questions if you have. We'll be more than happy to respond.
Awesome. Yeah, feel free to throw your email there in the chat. And again, we'll mail out all the links and emails to all the vendors to the audience today. And awesome. Well, that's going to do it. 3:30, 90 minutes, right on time, Daniela. Appreciate the timeliness there. So great job. And thank you to Xor and to all of our vendors today. Really great event. Something that I think a lot of the audience wanted to see all at once. So that's it for RegTech Media. I'm Chris Russell. She's Daniela from Xor. That's going to be it for today. And have a great Thanksgiving, everyone, a Christmas, And I'll see you again in 2021. All right. Peace out. Take care.